Big Tigger spent 30 years building a clean name in this business. In the 3 weeks since his wife posted that photo, he's been arrested, charged, and hit with a protective order. And the comment sections have split into two camps. People calling him guilty and people calling her a liar.
Okay, you guys, so Big Tigger has officially been arrested. Now, if you remember, not too long ago, Big Tigger's wife, Alicia Brown, came out crying and showing injuries to her face. Now, Alicia was claiming that her husband had put his hands on her, and she even tagged a woman by the name Francesca Amiker, basically accusing Big Tigger of having an affair with his co-worker. Oh. Now, when all of this first came out, y'all, Big Tigger denied everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything. He denied putting his hands on Alicia.
I'm going to walk you through what's actually confirmed, separated from what's still just rumor, and get into the one thing this case is really teaching all of us.
Here you go. Now we'll plug it back up. This is yours.
I am bleeding.
This is yours.
I'm bleeding, so take a picture.
No.
Take a picture.
No.
Take a picture.
Alicia, stop.
Take a picture.
Alicia, stop.
Get off of me. Get off of me. Get off of me.
Okay.
I can't.
Here you go. Now we'll plug it back up. This is yours.
I am bleeding.
This is yours.
I'm bleeding, so take a picture.
No.
Take a picture.
No.
Okay.
Take a picture.
So it looks like he's holding like a Apple product, like an M3 or an M4 desktop, and she says, "Take a picture." He says, "Come on." She doesn't come on. She grabs for something. It was alleged it was like a phone or something like that she's grabbing for. Then a brief struggle ensues. Now, what we don't have is the context behind this. Was she grabbing something to destroy it, to snoop through it, to escalate the situation? We don't know that, but let's deal with the facts. He signaled for her to come on. He's not striking. He's not hitting. There's no abuse here, but it does escalate into a scuffle over what appears to be a phone or some type of device.
Alicia, stop.
Take a picture.
Alicia, stop.
There's something in her
Get
hand.
off of me.
He's trying to grab it out the hand. She's not
Get off
letting
of
go.
me.
And she trips. She looked like she trips. The door opens and she hits her head on the middle of the door. Now, I would have not handled a situation like this because I know in this brief period of time, if an accident like this was to happen, even though I know what the narrative would have been, but one must ask, how do you protect your property in your private residence if a situation like this was to occur? But this looks completely accidental.
Let's start with the timeline, family. On June 7th of this year, family, Alicia Brown posted a video of her bruised face and asked people to ask her husband what happened. Tagged his co-host, Francesca. For days, both Tigger and Francesca denied wrongdoing, and Alicia herself later said she never actually called him an abuser, only that she wanted answers. Then on June the 20th, things shifted and changed. Fulton County jail records show Big Tigger, legal name Darian Morgan, was arrested and charged with aggravated battery and third-degree cruelty to children. He posted a $10,000 bond and was released the same day. Now, court records put the start of all of this back in May in an argument over a string of text messages between Tigger and his female coworker. Per the affidavit, he pulled out his phone to film her mid-argument. She went to grab it from him. and the back and forth turned physical, leaving her with a bruised lip. Their 13-year-old son was home and heard the whole thing, which is where the child cruelty charges come from. A few days later, Elisa went further. Court documents show she petitioned for and was granted a temporary protective order. In it, she claims he shoved her head into a door hard enough to require stitches, then pushed her to stay silent about it, allegedly warning she'd lose everything if she spoke up. She also says she lost her own access to the house's cameras and the gate, locked out of the system entirely. The judge granted the order. Tigger must stay 200 yards from Elisa and the kids. She has temporary custody, and he had to surrender access to the cameras and gates. A hearing is set for July the 13th. This week, Elisa posted again saying she takes full responsibility for posting that first video and is preparing to tell her side properly. What does that mean? Worth saying plainly, an arrest isn't a conviction, and a protective order is a civil filing a judge grants based on a sworn petition. It's not a verdict. Neither document settles what actually happened in that house. There's also a lot of other material about Elisa circulating right now. An old missing child case from 2019, an old incident involving a child left in a car back in 2014, and plenty of speculation about her mental health. None of that has been confirmed by the police or by any court to be connected to her. I'm not going to diagnose a woman I've never met based on internet rumors, and neither should you. If it isn't confirmed, it isn't fact. It's noise. Here's the first thing we're pulling from all of this. We have a bad habit as a culture of deciding who's guilty before we know much of anything. A bruised face online, and a lot of people convict the husband on sight. And that happens too often and is usually the wrong assumption. One inconsistency in her story, and a lot of other people acquit him on sight and convict her instead. Neither reaction is really about the evidence. It's about which side we already wanted to believe. Look at what's actually inconvenient for each side here. If you're certain he's guilty, sit with this fact that the affidavit describes a bruised lip, while the protective order filed days later describes a head injury requiring stitches. That's a real jump in severity, and it deserves a real question, not a dismissal. It doesn't automatically mean she's lying. People who've been hurt sometimes disclose more over time out of fear, not deceit. But it doesn't mean we skip past asking those questions either. And if you're certain she's lying, then we need to sit with the fact that a judge looked at her sworn petition and decided it enough to order a grown man 200 yards from his own children. And we know judges make decisions that are not always based upon what's fair as it relates to the man. I have to say that at this point. Our laws need to change. They need to be more fair toward men as they are for women. It's not nothing what the judge decided, but sometimes we have to question it. Both sides of this story have a detail that complicates the version you want to believe. And that complication is the actual point. An honest case in progress is supposed to feel unfinished. So here's the lesson, and it's the only one I want you to take from this part. Stop needing a verdict before the courts have one. So what I'm actually saying is, Don't make a decision before it's actually been decided in the court based upon evidence. Believing real victims and protecting the falsely accused were never opposite goals. They both require the same thing: patience, and most of us are out of practice at that one. We want to just jump on the side based upon our own personal experiences, perspectives, and even our own personal trauma. Some women and men can't objectively look at anything without interjecting their own personal trauma into it. And therefore, many times it's not a balanced assessment. And once you can hold that kind of patience with strangers on the internet, you also need to know what to actually watch for closer to home. Whatever did or didn't happen physically in that house, there's a pattern described in these documents worth talking about on its own. There was a fight over a phone recording someone without full consent. There was an alleged threat tied to silence. And there was an alleged cutoff of camera and gate access. One partner allegedly controlling what the other could see and who could come and go. Notice something. Monitoring threats tied to compliance and controlling access to information or movement are textbook signs of control in a relationship. And they show up no matter who's the man and who's the woman in the story. Most of us only watch for the moment someone raises a hand. We don't watch the slow buildup before that. Someone could agree, none of this proves abuse on its own. People record arguments, security systems change for all kinds of reasons. Fair. One data point doesn't prove a pattern. But when 2 or 3 of these show up together, attached to conflict, that's worth taking seriously, whether you're living it or watching it happen to someone you love. You don't need a courtroom to teach you this. If someone in your life records you and seeks to use it against you, threatens your access to your own resources, or cuts you off from information the moment things get tense, that's a pattern worth naming early, long before it ever becomes a headline family. And once you can spot a pattern of control, you also need to keep watching how someone treats the people who have nothing to do with the conflict at all. This one's quick, but it still matters. However this case resolves, character shows up in small moments, not headlines. How somebody treats a server, a coworker, or their own family when nobody's filming tells you more than any viral post ever will. Pay attention there long before any crisis forces your hand. If this video helped you to think about this situation differently, like it, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and leave a thoughtful comment below. I'd like to know, now that there's a protective order on top of the arrest, does that shift how you see this case? Where's the line, in your opinion, between giving someone the benefit of the doubt and ignoring real warning signs? And how do you keep supporting real victims without turning every accusation into a public trial before the facts are in? Let's talk about it in the comments. Links to the clips and sources related to this story are in the description below. I'm Deborah, and this is Family Still Matters. Because family still matters, learning truly to see people and not just look at them matters. Thank you for watching. I want to leave you with this scripture. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as a man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. That is from the first book of Samuel, chapter 16, verse 7. May God continue to richly bless you. God bless.